Yo, what's going on, guys? It's your boy Fanatic, and I'm back with yet another schedule preview, this time of the Oregon Ducks. There's a lot of differing opinions on this team. Some people think that because of Justin Herbert, this team could be a playoff team and a top 10 team. Some people aren't buying into it and think they won't be any better than 7-5 or 8-4. One thing I do know is that I do expect Justin Herbert to have a great season and for him to be a top 10 pick in next year's draft. Does that mean that that'll correlate in 10 plus wins? Let's find out. Let's get into the video. So Oregon kicks off the year in Jerry World in a neutral site game against Auburn. Auburn knows that they have to have this win. Auburn has an extremely difficult schedule. Gus Malzahn's on the hot seat. He knows how big of the game this game is. A lot of people aren't giving Oregon much of a chance here. A lot of people have Auburn. I think this is going to be a very close one-possession football game. I do think that Auburn's going to find a way to kind of shut down Justin Herbert, at least for the first half. I think this game is going to be more defensive than most people realize. It's going to be more like Washington and Auburn, around 40 points in total. A one-possession, close, physical football game. The offenses could get rolling in the fourth quarter, but for the most part, I think the defenses are going to kind of rule this football game. I do think Auburn is going to find a way to get the win. They're going to win it in a close football game. They need it more than Oregon does. That's why I think Auburn's going to get the win, as Oregon starts off the year 0-1. So they head back home in kind of a cupcake game against Nevada. This isn't a terrible Nevada team. They could put up a little bit of competition, maybe for a quarter or half a quarter. But if we're being real here, we all know Oregon is going to find a way to defeat Nevada. Pretty simple. Same thing with Montana. Let's go ahead, push that out of the way. No need to focus too much on that. They're 2-1 in the year. So they are on the road against Stanford. Some people are extremely high on Stanford. Some people are not. I'm about lukewarm to it. I think they'll be okay. I don't think they'll be great. I don't think they'll be bad by any means of the imagination. So they're on the road. This is going to be a tough game for Oregon. Do I think Oregon is going to get this win? Yes, I think they are 2-1 at this point. They know they can't afford to lose this game. They know if they lose this game, their season hopes for being a top 10 team and a playoff team basically go down the toilets. So I think they're going to clutch it up. I think it's going to be a close football game. One of the best games of Pac-12, but Oregon finds a way to get the win with a big drive from Justin Herbert. So they have a bye. They come back at home against California. They're off a bye. They're going to be prepared. There's nothing to really look forward to. They have Colorado the week after this, so I think they're going to find a way to handle California. They're going to bring their A game. It's off of a bye week. There's nothing to really look ahead at except for Washington in a couple weeks, but that's too far away for, I think, them to look at. So I think they're going to focus all their attention on California. It's Oregon, it's California. Oregon's going to bring their A game. They're going to bring home the W as well. So this is kind of a sandwich game against Colorado. As long as Oregon brings their B- and above game, they should be fine. I think they're going to bring their B+ game. Justin Herbert might have some struggles. It might be a close first half game. I think Herbert and the Oregon Ducks are going to get things kind of rolling in the second half. They're going to be able to distance themselves from a much lesser team in Colorado as they get the W. So as we reach their most difficult stretch of the entire football season, they are on the road against Washington. I think what could be arguably their most difficult game of the entire year. Washington, I am very high on them this year. I think Jacob Eason's going to do great things for them in that offense. I think he's going to be able to get them back to relevancy. Hang on. Let me try to get this thing rolling. Yeah, but back on topic. I think that Oregon could have some struggles against Washington. I think the Washington defense is going to be able to shut them down. I think Washington is going to get the W against Oregon. It won't be very close. I think Washington, this is going to be that one game of the year where Oregon isn't going to look very good. So Oregon is back at home against Washington State. Oregon knows that if they want to be a top 10 team and keep any slim hopes for a playoff berth alive, they got to get the dub here. I think they're going to respond well. A lot of teams respond badly off of a big loss and a big upsetting loss. Oregon, I don't think, is one of those teams. Oregon's going to get motivated. They're going to get hyped up. They're going to get the win against Washington State. Let's move on. USC, I think this is going to be the crowning moment this year for Oregon. I think Oregon is going to absolutely destroy and embarrass USC on the road. This is going to be the game where I think Clay Helton gets the boot, gets fired, and USC can finally focus on their future and maybe getting a coach like Urban Meyer. Go check out my video about USC to Urban Meyer. I ran a little bit. It's a good video. Go check that out for this one. But I do think that Oregon is just a way better team than USC. USC is going to want Clay Helton fired. They're not going to bring their A game. They're going to bring their C game. Oregon's going to bring their A+ game. Oregon's going to get the W. So we have ourselves a bye here and against Arizona. So I would normally give Arizona a win like this because Oregon won't bring their A game if it wasn't a bye week. But because it's a bye week, again, they have faced Arizona State and then Oregon State. This is kind of a cupcake last stretch of the season. There's nothing to look forward to. I think this is their most difficult game left. So I think they're going to bring their A- game. They're going to get the win here against Arizona. So they go from Arizona to Arizona State. This time Oregon is on the road. Arizona State's a fine team. They're going to go 6-6. A bowl game would be a successful season for them. They're not anything special. Oregon is something special. Oregon, I think, is going to get the pretty convincing win against Arizona State. I don't really see a path for Arizona State to win here. Oregon, there's nothing really. I mean, they have, I guess you can make a case that this is kind of a sandwich game between Arizona and Oregon State. Oregon State isn't anything good, so it's obviously a rivalry game, but they're not going to be worried potentially losing to Oregon State. Oregon gets the W. So as Oregon looks to end off the year hot against Oregon State, they need to get a win here. Are they going to get the win? Yes. They're going to completely destroy Oregon State. Oregon State is in an absolutely terrible spot. Worst team in the Pac-12 by a country mile. And Oregon is competing to potentially be a top 15, top 10 teams. They don't compare. The only similarity they have is they're in the same state of Oregon. So Oregon's obviously, in my opinion, and in most people that have a brains opinion, going to get the win as they end off the year 10-2. Question at the end of the day, am I buying into the Oregon hype? Halfway. I think Oregon's going to be a top 20, maybe top 15 team. Do I think they're going to be a top 10 team? Do I think they're going to win the Pac-12? Do I think they're going to make the college football playoff? No. I think they're going to show a lot of improvement for last year. I think Justin Herbert is going to do wonders for this team. Sorry, I just hit my microphone. I think he's going to do wonders for this team. But in the end, I don't think Justin Herbert just by himself is going to be able to do enough to reach this team to the heights that some Oregon fans say they will. But I think most Oregon fans would be satisfied for this season. Not super hyper and excited, but they'd be satisfied. I don't think that they're going to make a New Year's Six bowl. They're going to make a bowl right out of it. Maybe like an Outback Bowl or something like that. You know, a decent bowl game. I wouldn't go as far to say a New Year's Six bowl. Unless Washington makes the playoffs, then they might be able to make like a Rose Bowl or something. I do think they're going to be the second best team in the Pac-12. I don't think that they're going to be able to make the Pac-12 championship because they are in the same division as Washington in the Pac-12 North. So Oregon will have a successful year. Not as good as a year as some people say they are. They go 10-2, 10-win team. Hopefully they win their bowl game and reach 11 wins. Overall, pretty successful year for Oregon. They have a bright future even after Justin Herbert. You know, they recruited, I'm trying to remember his name. They recruited the best guy in this class. You'll see him on your right. He's going to be a stud. I have no doubt about that. And hopefully they can get their next Justin Herbert. So I'll see you guys in the next one. Make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. Have an amazing day. Check out all my other college football content if you like. Oregon fans, if you guys want more Oregon content, please let me know. I'll be happy to provide that for you. 1 month away from college football. I'll see you guys in the next one. Peace.